Alright, so as you can see, our site is looking good. We've got a lot of things added to the site. We've got buttons, we've got a header, we've got rows, we've got banners, we've got animated numbers, and we stopped at the contact us form. And now we're going to be working on the footer, which is this section right here, but we're going to stretch this out so we have a little bit more room to work with, so we can add a Google map. So let's go ahead and add the Google map. We're going to hit add, and let's go to contact, and you want to select where it says Google Maps. And here on Google Maps you have a couple of options, one with the street view, the other one is a simple one. Let's go ahead and click this one. I'm going to show you the difference between the two. This one has it's just a simple street view, and the other one has the option for people to type in their address and get directions to your business. Okay, so I'm going to choose that one, and I'm going to delete the other one. Alright, so once you have that added to the page, you can do the same thing. It's basically a row where you can stretch or you can shrink it. So let's go ahead and do that. Right click and let's edit. Here's the place where you would add the direction to, or the address to your business. I'm going to type in Orlando, Florida, and the description it would be the name of your business. So this is my business. Okay, you have the option to use the street view. If I check here, then it's going to show on the side. I don't like that, so I'm just going to leave it, and I'll hit confirm. All right, so there you have it. That's looking good. And the next thing we want to do is just start working on the footer. So let's bring the footer near the top, so it's touching the Google Maps. And I'm going to stretch this out just a little bit so we have a little more room to work with. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is right click and click appearance. The footer, we're going to select the full length, and we're going to pick the red that we've been using in the other sections. Okay, so this is the red. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to select an image. So let's go ahead and add an image, and so we can add the logo. Okay, so I'm going to right click, and as you notice, it's going to messed up the site a little bit just because it's not going to come into the footer without me clicking and dragging. So now it does. All right, so the same thing, the pop-up is going to show up. I'm going to say okay. I'm going to move it up, and now right click the image, change image. We're going to pick the logo so we can add here, and let's go ahead and pick our logo, and we're going to resize it, move it to the left a little bit right here. And the next thing is we're going to need some text. So let's go ahead and add text. Let's go ahead and pick this right here and double click, and we're going to type in a few things about our business, same thing, and make it white. Move over to the side. Let's get that out of the way. Alright, so it's looking good. I can always align. Just let's bring over the guide, and then I can align my text with the top as well. Alright, so the next thing is the information to our business. So let's see, the contact us actually. Let's go ahead and add another text and bring it in. Contact us. Now you may ask, like, why do I have to add a contact us again? Don't I have one in the middle of the body of the site? Well, this is in the footer, right? So you got to understand that people are going to be navigating throughout your site, and it's always a good idea to have this in the footer because it's going to be on every page. So you have another way to have people contact you. Okay, so let's go ahead and Command C and Command V to duplicate that section, and we're going to just type in, select here, this is my address, the state or city and state. So here's where you type in your address, right? And then we're going to hit enter. Actually, let's make it smaller. Alright, so phone number, and let's do 555 555 55 There you have it. And business hours 9 to 5. Okay. All right, so let's make it smaller so it fits right here. We can put it under contact and bring in the guide, and I can align it. Now let's go and add the menu, and this is going to be the same menu as the top, but we're not going to look at that right now. We're going to look at that in a different video. So for now, let's go ahead and just add the header, which is menu, and newsletter. Okay, so let's move this over right here, and our newsletter. Let's see if there is a newsletter subscription. Okay, double click. So subscription. All right, stretch this out. Let's make sure we align all these titles. There you have it, and boom. So, okay, so the next thing, we're not going to go over the menu because we're going to address that in a later video, but the difference between a newsletter subscription and the contact form is that the contact form is when people type in the information to just send you a message. Now, the newsletter is attached to an autoresponder. What's an autoresponder? The autoresponder is basically when people type in their name, email, whatever the fields are that you set aside, and then you collect that information, and whenever you have information, you start sending every day or every so often, once a week, once a month, information about your business. So if you are in the fruit shop business, right, you want to give some tips on how people can cut their fruit, or what are the best fruits to eat, and what types of salads and fruits that go with salads. And I'm not in the business of selling fruit, but you know what I mean. So you need to understand your business and find out what people would be interested, people that you are serving, your clients, and that would add value. So that's the kind of thing that you want to do, and send out emails on a weekly basis at least. So to do that, we're just going to go add, and we're going to select the email marketing, and you have some preset forms right here. We're going to pick one. The first one is fine, and we're going to connect to our Mailing Boss email marketing. So we've got different services, but the Mailing Boss is our service we use, and it works wonders, and it's easy to integrate. So that's just click, and it's integrated with the list that we have preset for you. Now you can always set up other lists, and you can have a number of different lists, unlimited amount of lists, and we would highly recommend that you would have a list per niche or per segment or campaign that you're trying to. If you have a promotion, maybe it's a monthly promotion, you want to make sure that you're sending out a specific email to that particular group of people. Okay, so for instance, right here, I'm just going to pick the one that's email marketing. Okay, so let me drag and drop right here, and you've got the email field and a button. Okay, so now these are preset. You can't change this these fields here. You would have to go to your autoresponder, and we're going to cover that on later videos, but just so you can see the difference. So if I go in here, and yeah, you wouldn't be able to select or to change anything like as far as the fields. But let me add a different one, and let me pick, let's say, the test one. The test one, I set up my test list has multiple fields, so it's got the email and the first name, and I didn't even set up the first name on top of the email. Okay, so because I was just running a test to see what I could do. But you see that there are different fields. These fields are set up in the autoresponder service, so that's where you would change those things. So what we can do here, though, is just change the appearance. So let's go ahead and right click, appearance, and then the engine icon, and the same thing. The form label styles you can't change because there's no label here, but you can change the form field. So for instance, right here, I want to change to the able, and that's the inside right here, and I want to make sure that's a little bit bigger so people can see a little bit better. The background is white. The placeholder color is white, or yeah, it's white, and then the label color, it's not going to show because we don't have it showing. The border, it's gray, and I'll show you if I do black, you can see a little bit better. But let me go ahead and change it, switch back to gray. Okay, the same thing, label border. If people hover over, it's white, and the label color we're going to delete because there isn't one, and we're going to delete hover for the border. Okay, the space of the fields, here's where you would change, and the height, we'll make it a little bit bigger. Okay, now the next thing you got to do is the border. You can make it thick or a little bit thinner. All right, so we're going to change that to 6, since the other forms have 6 as the corner, and seems to be working fine. And let's stretch this out a little bit like this, so it's looking good. You can add the shadow. I don't like the shadow, so let's get it out. The background color is green. This is for the button. Now we start configuring and changing the button. So for instance, right here it's green. Let me go and select this green, and I'm going to get the lighter green, and then on the hover I want to get a darker green. Okay, you're not going to be able to see unless we do a preview. And if I scroll down, then you would be able to see what it looks like right now on the hover. Okay, so let's go back and continue to change or edit the button. Okay, appearance, and we're going to change the button now to make it look better. Alright, so the font, I like the font that we have right now. I just want it a little bit bigger so people can see or read it a little bit better. Space on the top is fine. The size right here is, do you want it the full width of the box, or what percentage of the width you want? I like a full width. The height is, I'd like a little bit taller. And let's see, and the button right here is the corners. We're going to switch back to 6, 6, 6, all 6, so it matches the top, which is looking good right now. Okay, so to change the text, right click again, and let's go to buttons, and here is where you would type in the what you want to say on the button. So sign up now. You can add an icon if you would like. I don't want to. And so that's looking good, and that's that. Okay, so basically now the only thing that's left to do is just adding a little copy here underneath the button. So copy and paste, double click, select the whole thing. We hate spam, that's why we respect your privacy. Alright, so let's go ahead and make this white and make it a little bit smaller. Okay, so let's make it very small and center, and then put it right underneath the button and see how it looks like that. And if you want to italicize this, you can. Boom, and there you have it. Don't forget to save. Now, one thing that I noticed is that I ended up with a space right here. All I have to do is just select the footer and move it up, and boom, now you have it. So let's go ahead and save, and our site is looking pretty good. So let's go to the next video.